From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have just been through the greatest display of journalistic gymnastics, where in a display of unnatural flexibility aimed at making the interviewee feel at ease and complete ease, the interviewer jousts a tough question in his mind and eventually, declaring it, asking with an air of investigative keenness that tell us, Rhea. And then there is a pause. Tell us, Rhea, who is the real Rhea Chakraborty? As if this is not enough, when she says with great thought, the real Rhea Chakraborty is just someone who loves Sushant. Promptly comes the next question. And I'm sure the channel thought it very relevant to the present investigation. Tell me, Rhea, then, now that I know who the real Rhea Chakraborty is, do you have any regrets that you loved Sushant? This incredible grilling session in a case where money laundering, data fraud, loot, and a gruesome murder are involved, with the interviewer never disappointing the viewer in terms of by stooping to the point of asking the following questions. Was Sushant a womanizer? Did Sushant ever abuse you? When did you, Rhea Chakraborty, realize that Sushant Singh Rajput had a mental problem, that he was bipolar, that he was mentally sick? And deep questions such as the following. Tell me, Rhea Chakraborty, what made you speak to me now? When did you know this man was bipolar? Were you forced to leave Sushant because he was depressed? And even in the course of the interview, admitting, perhaps in a Freudian slip, that I am giving you a chance to prove your innocence, the anchor actually said that. All this while casually vilifying Sushant and nodding in agreement when Rhea gives a thumbs up and solid appreciation for the Mumbai police. They nod at each other. And the interview continues to nod gracefully and gravely as Rhea Chakraborty, instead of being asked a single, and I repeat, a single specific question, attacks Sushant's family, attacks Sushant's father, attacks Sushant's sisters, defames them without a single counter. The only counter question in the entire interview was a brilliant 2-alphabet counter in which the interviewer provides repeatedly, called okay. Okay. The only counter question in the interview was okay. And of course another which was fair enough. So the counter question was fair enough, Rhea. Okay, Rhea. Viewers, I shall leave the rest to the debate, but I'm absolutely sure, and I'm sure you are as well, that Rhea Chakraborty's lawyers will be very pleased with the interview that they set up out here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two big debates tonight coming your way. Two big debates, 100 questions not asked to Rhea Chakraborty. Debate number 2 tonight at 10 o'clock this evening, viewers. It's time for Rhea Chakraborty's custodial interrogation, not the namby-pamby interview that we just saw. Ladies and gentlemen, all this and more is coming up, and here are the headlines this Thursday evening on the Debate Tonight.
रिया मेरे बेटे सुशांत को लंबे समय से जहर पिलाया करती थी, वो इसकी हत्यारी है।
Family furious over the platform given to accused number 1 to vilify Sushant Singh Rajput and his entire family. Sushant's sister calls Rhea Chakraborty's slander campaign a slap in the face of every Indian. From claustrophobia to the medicine angle, every lie peddled by Rhea has been countered. After the namby-bamby soft interview on the friendly channel, Republic will fire 100 questions that Rhea must answer.
सर क्या रिया चक्रवर्ती को कब आप बुलाएंगे सर रिया के ड्रग एंगल पे क्या कहना चाहते हैं सर रिपब्लिक सर रिया के ड्रग एंगल पे क्या कहना चाहते हैं सर
Narcotics Control Bureau confirms that Rhea Chakrabarti will be summoned. She cannot escape arrest as the proof begins to pile up despite the friendly interview. And they ignored Sushant's family complaint but rushed to protect Rhea Chakrabarti after a social media tantrum. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, accused number one, Rhea Chakrabarti, was given a very wonderful, friendly platform for 2 straight hours to vilify Sushant Singh Rajput. No counter questions were asked, as she framed an incredible narrative against the 34-year-old Sushant. Tonight, as Sushant's family fumes over the slander campaign, we have 100 questions for Rhea Chakrabarti that should have been asked. Let's debate.
रिया मेरे बेटे सुशांत को लंबे समय से जहर पिलाया करती थी। वो इसकी हत्यारी है। जांच से इंस्पेक्टर को चाहिए कि रिया को और उसके सहयोगी को अविलंब गिरफ्तार करें और उसे सजा दिलाएं।
74-year-old father of Sushant Singh Rajput is fighting tooth and nail for justice. His demand is clear: arrest those behind the cold-blooded murder of his son.
रिया मेरे बेटे सुशांत को लंबे समय से जहर पिलाया करती थी। वो इसकी हत्यारी है। जांच से इंस्पेक्टर को चाहिए कि रिया को और उसके सहयोगी को अविलंब गिरफ्तार करें और उसे सजा दिलाएं।
Accused of murder by the family, prime suspect in Sushant death case, Rhea Chakrabarti has been given a platform by friendly media to openly slander Sushant 74 days after his death. Sushant's sister has tweeted, and I quote, "A news channel is interviewing Rhea Chakrabarti for 2 hours and planning to air that interview on a national platform. If that happens, it will be an utter disgrace and slap on the face of 130 crore Indians fighting for justice for my brother. Government of India needs to see to it that a prime accused should not be moving around giving interviews and doing publicity stunts. Hashtag arrest Rhea Chakrabarti." Family has alleged that Rhea Chakrabarti, who is trying to stall ED investigation and is facing summons for allegedly being part of a drug racket, is openly spreading lies against Sushant. And each lie is being countered with proof. So when Rhea alleged that Sushant felt claustrophobic on flights, this video of Sushant in a cockpit of a chartered aircraft has busted those lies. When Rhea lied that Sushant took a medicine called modafinil before flights to curb his anxiety, the doctor named by her has called out her slander campaign.
Sandeep Singh, being exposed by Republic TV since July 29th. Rhea Chakrabarti already questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, likely to be called in by the CBI. Shoaib Chakrabarti being examined by the Enforcement Directorate, CBI. Siddharth Pitani, part of Team Rhea, questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. Samuel Miranda, part of Rhea's team, questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, questioned by the CBI.
On August 24th, Sushant's family friend had made a sensational revelation on how Pitani found Mumbai police investigation therapeutic.
He was called thrice by the Mumbai police, and the 3 statement which he gave to Mumbai police was like a healing for him. It was like a therapy for him.
So with accused number 1, Rhea Chakrabarti, seeking platform therapy, Republic will fire 100 sharp questions that demand an answer. Let's debate.
The contextual situation is very relevant. The contextual situation right now, Anand Ranganathan, is that there has been a 2-month national public investigation. There are 120 sting operations which have been done. Key testimonies have been taken. Important interviews have been done with individuals. And now we are at a point after all of this that the CBI has come in. There's prime accused number 1, Arnab. Prime accused number 1 not cooperating with the Enforcement Directorate. Prime accused number 1, Rhea Chakrabarti, faces an interview on Aaj Tak. And after 1 hour, 35 minutes of mutually acceptable conversation, which comes the clincher, where the interviewer says, Tell me, Rhea Chakraborty. Tell me. And we are all anxiously waiting. Who is the real Rhea Chakraborty? And they look at each other, a moment of pregnant pause again, and she says, just a girl who loved a boy. And look at each other again. And then the interviewer follows up. He says, but do you have any regrets that you loved that boy? And accused number one says, no, I don't. Follow-up questions include, was Sushant a womanizer? Was Sushant a womanizer? Was he ever abusive to you? I'm laying the context out here. What made you speak to me now? When did you find out that he had a mental problem? When did you find out that he was possibly bipolar? Is that why you left him? Because he was depressed. Did you leave this depressed man on June 8th? Did you have to take a final call to leave this depressed man because you had no other options? And the follow-up questions include various expressions such as okay, and fair enough. Okay, and fair enough are the three counter questions. Ananda, let me start with you. And MR Venkatesh. We know the circumstances in which we are discussing this.
Arnab.
I'd like your response to what's been going on. Anand.
Arnab.
Anand first. Anand. Let Anand go first.
Quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, good evening, Arnab. You know, for someone who watches Republic TV, I was always wondering why she's so scared to be interviewed by you. Now I know. You know, the questions were as hard as a freshly whipped fairground cotton candy. You know, it is, but more than what you have explained, what I am absolutely scandalized by is that yet again, for the second time in probably a month, one of your ex-colleagues, the second one, has disgustingly broken the patient-doctor confidentiality just to slander someone who is no longer there to defend himself. Now, I find that unacceptable and also disappointing because first time, you know, you did it, that one of your ex-journalists did it, you know, the Indian Medical Association should have taken note. Today, the Indian Medical Association should have come down heavily. This is criminal. You can't do this. There are rules against this. So I don't understand, A, why no lessons were learned by the so-called Editors Guild that did not condemn when your ex-colleague, and you know, we always say a man is known by the company he keeps, thank God you've left that company. But I'd like to say this is the harshest of terms, some action has to be taken because you just cannot continue to slander for your propaganda means somebody who's not there to defend himself and label him as bipolar or schizophrenic or suffering from a mental depression just because it suits your narrative. It is unacceptable. You can come up with all arguments you wish.
Exactly.
And a man and a woman have a defense. This is presumption of innocence. Is one of late done in our laws. Fine.
We
you give an interview.
Hear her
but
out.
It is criminal.
Can't we?
Criminal to break patient-doctor.
Can't we patiently hear her out? Let us understand her version. You can question it, but shouldn't we be courteous enough to understand her version? She has been subjected to a very serious campaign. But don't you think we should have patience enough to listen to what she's saying?
1 second. Everyone can listen to everyone, what they are saying, but what kind of rubbish are you serving? No, 1 second. 1 second. I'd like to come in and MR will come into the debate. The question being asked here is, would you not have the patience to hear what she's saying? But I'm asking you, the question is not what she's saying. The question is, God damn it, what are you asking, MR? The question is, what on earth are you asking? You are sitting and doing You are sitting and doing a coffee with Tak, and you are asking questions such as, on June 8, did you take a final call because he was depressed? And by the way, someone's talking about facts. Let me tell you, there's a psychiatrist in Mumbai, Harish Shetty. Call him if you want to. Lies are being put about him. That a particular drug called Modivine or Motifine, I don't know which one it is, something like that, was being taken by Sushant and was prescribed by him. This doctor has told the Mumbai police that there was never such any drug that he prescribed. And this doctor has told the Mumbai police that there was no major depression. She lied in the interview. There was no major depression. The doctor has said that when he came to me in 2013, Shweta, it was only a case of mild anxiety, like students have before exams. Like we might have before we do a show. Mild anxiety is what we all go through. A lie was put, and the anchor, with no follow-up, says, oh really? He was taking this drug? And the channel does whole interviews and analysis of the impact of this drug. Well, that's a story cooked up by Rhea Chakrabarti, which you did not counter.
Bat like Dravid.
It's a goddamn lie.
Bat like Sehwag. Some people bat like Dravid.
What kind? No, 1 second.
Has any other
I'd like Shweta Shalini to come in now. Shweta, yes, please, Shweta.
I want to ask.
Just because she appeared on,
Shweta Shalini is on the debate. 1 second.
I want to ask the BMC and the Chief Minister of Maharashtra
let me come into the debate, please.
This anchor is based out of Delhi. He came to Mumbai and interviewed a so-called accused. Why was he not quarantined? What happened to BMC? What happened to what you did to Bihar Police and Vinay Tiwari? Why was he not quarantined? He went all over the place. He came from Delhi and interviewed, and it's on air. Why was he not quarantined? Why were the rules changed? It was a completely scripted interview. Why did he not ask Rhea? Why did he delete the...
Just because
that is fine. I'm asking the question. I'm asking your government. I'm asking the Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
Shoaib, I don't mind to defend yourself when you are asked a question. No, 1 second. Shoaib, 1 second. Shoaib, I always knew that you were completely wrong most of the time. I always know that whenever you speak up, you don't have any facts with you. I also know that you come on many debates and lost, you know, in a terrible manner. But I did not know that you'd completely lost your mind. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Now calm down, okay? We're on a debate. Nandini is on the debate. Nandini Sharma worked very closely with SSR, former head of communications of Inside Ventures. She wants to say something. Nandini, go on. Nandini and Shoaib, please. Yes, please.
Arnab, at the onset, I would like to thank Republic and you for starting this crusade. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to bring some facts forward. A, I have traveled with Sushant right next to the seat, sitting next to him. Sushant was on no drugs. She claims that he was claustrophobic. He was scared of flying. This is all a part of a PR machinery. This is all fabricated lies. They are trying to tarnish his reputation after killing him.
Thank you for saying that. Why do you think so? Why do you think there's a consent call?
I was there. I was very much there for the entire journey from Bombay till Jamshedpur. We boarded the flight, and there are the pictures which suffices, which is a clear evidence that Sushant was smiling and happy all the way through the journey. Why on earth would he take any pills? All this is all baseless. I will also tell you something. Out of 150 plans, the very worst plan that Sushant chalked out was getting a flying license. He bought a 737 fixed-base flight simulator. Now, can someone answer me? Why would a person be scared of flying by it?
And these are some of the lies which have been peddled. But you know what, Nandini, upsets me the most? And when I talk about this, you know, Nandini, people like Shoaib come on television and they lose their cool. What upsets me today, viewers, is that this is nothing. This was not an interview. This is a slander campaign against a dead man. This is a slander campaign against a dead man. Exactly. And therefore it is not an interview. It is cruel. The cruelty of it is striking. The cowardice and cruelty of it is what bothers us.
I was feeling with anger, but now I'm happy. I'm glad she came. She exposed herself. It is now the world can see how she has made a mockery of herself by putting these lies in front.
Shoaib is on the debate. Shoaib, my question to you.
How fair is that?
Shoaib, my question to you. My question to you is, what is going on when instead of asking not even one question, there are 100 questions that were not even one question. You had 2 hours, you could not ask one question. And you know what was being put out? Instead, the interviewer does a slander campaign against a dead man. Not one question, not one. You could ask one question, I say. One goddamn question. Now the question is, Shoaib, listen to me, Shoaib, listen to me, Shoaib, listen to me, Shoaib, for God's sake. Shoaib, you listen to my question, then I'll allow you to finish. You haven't allowed me to complete my question. Please listen to me. Instead of asking one pointed question, the interview kicks off a slander campaign against a dead man who's not there to defend himself in front of accused number 1 in the case, saying, उसने आपको वहां से निकाला था घर से. You know, the portrayal out here is that this unfeeling, inconsiderate, uncaring, mentally disturbed, bipolar Sushant Singh Rajput kicked out the poor, unsuspecting, victim-like Rhea Chakrabarti. You are making these allegations about a man when he is dead and cannot speak for himself.
No, it is now for the family.
You have made allegations like this about Sushant when he is dead.
To come out clean on the relationship.
When he is dead. It is the worst disgrace on the dead.
Must stop.
It is the worst cowardice to say this about the dead.
Clean on the relationship with the family.
About the dead.
The family must come out clean on the relationship with the son and the brother.
Stop disgracing yourself and attacking the family, Shoaib. You know nothing about them. Control yourself and hold yourself back at this point, I say.
Come on, they have to come out with their...
Smita Parekh is on the debate. Be quiet.
You know, I really don't care about people like Shoaib.
Calm down, Shweta.
I have no respect.
Smita.
I have no respect for people like Shoaib, who after seeing so much and so much drama we've just seen on this particular friendly channel. Sorry Shoaib, sorry, I have no respect for somebody like you, and please keep your voice down, because I'm going to be presenting how Rhea contradicted herself, and she has made a fool of herself right now on that particular channel. At one point of time you're saying, oh, I love that man so much. And then you drug that man, and that entire evidences are out. And then you are also trying to defend Pithani, and then Pithani there itself, yesterday in Arnab's show, we have seen how Pithani has, put allegation that Rhea has made them delete all those hard disks. Secondly, if you really loved him, okay, why are you still maligning him? At one side you're saying, oh, I loved him so much, he's not there, and he's been maligned. You are maligning him. You are talking on a national channel that he used to take marijuana. I mean, come on, is this what you call love? What bullshit, what crap it is. Who will believe that she loved? If you love somebody, you don't malign somebody. See,
but he was completely
Shoaib,
in charge of his life.
Let me finish how
he knew
she
what he was doing.
Herself.
Let Smita finish.
She's talking about all her love. She's talking about, but she has no clue what's happening in Sushant's life. Whenever there is a question, what happened after it, she has no clue. Wherever there is a question, was he murdered, she has no clue. So how diplomatically she has answered those questions and kept away from, these kind of questions who could have put her into a little space. And then she's saying, I want justice for Sushant. No, you don't want justice for Sushant. You're fighting for yourself. And you are playing the victim card. Look at the body language of her. I mean, a person who has lost the love of your life, who's going to marry this man after 2-3 months, doesn't look like what she looked like just now on the national television, Arnab.
No. And beyond that, it's a damn joke. It's not an interview. But what is that? The serious allegations have been frivolized with courts. It's a cruel joke at a time when there is a serious investigation going on. It's not some petty crime. It's a murder. You can't be asking questions like, "Log aapke image par sawal pooch rahe hain that you were living off Sushant." I mean, if you want to ask a question of living off Sushant, then you should show whether Rhea and her family's shopping was being done using Sushant's money. The most critical question was, Anuja, the most critical question was, why were you silent so far? I mean, are you out of your mind? Yeah, the most critical question was, सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये उठता है कि आप इन दिनों तक चुप क्यों थी? You are portraying Rhea as a silent victim. Was it an interview or a whitewash campaign? Is this friendly channel unaware or trying to mislead? When Rhea released a 20-second video on the same day that Siddharth Pitani, who lived with Sushant, cast aspersions on Sushant's family. You think they don't know? Now the other question is this friendly channel not aware that Rhea, via her lawyer, till 9 days ago released statements saying Priyanka consumed copious amounts of alcohol and attacked to malign the family? The prime accused in Sushant's death is called a leading lady by the channel, which says Sushant Singh Rajput's leading lady Rhea Chakrabarti in the hot seat. My question is, yesterday you interviewed a person you said was a security guard or a security guard of Sushant Singh Rajput and used that to indicate and insinuate, and you made the story viral across all digital media and on television saying that he was a consumer of charas. The entry into the mortuary by Rhea was morphed into a paparazzi-style questioning. What is going on? You see, the question is, there is an open admission at one point in the interview, Anuja, that this interview is aimed at proving her innocence. Rhea says, will I get no chance to prove my innocence? The interviewer promptly replies, no, I am giving you that chance. We are giving you that chance. We are giving you that chance. There is not a single follow-up on a significant question.
Arnab,
what is going on?
Yes, please. See this. She's been tutored.
Anuja.
She's been tutored. She's been tutored to that extent. She's been tutored to that extent so that she can speak in the media and can play a victim card. This is what is happening. If she's not guilty, why is she defending herself? Why is she defending herself if she's not guilty? And if she loved that person, this is the word she used. She said that in a past tense that she loved Sushant. So I know that you loved Sushant and now you don't love him anymore. And that is why you're sitting on the interviewer and you're speaking on bullshit. And you think that we all are stupid sitting here and going to listen to your bullshit. Are you picking on the grammar of what Rhea said? You don't have the right to speak the CBI questions. This is CBI questions. And CBI questions ask much more better questions than us. Ask Rhea. She has balls. Tell her to come and sit with Arnab on this show. We will tell her how to give her an interview. And we will tell her how to take an interview. This is not an interview. And we are the #1 channel. And this is why they are giving. This is why they are giving this kind of a bullshit on the interview here.
Get the family and the old man to speak to the channel and come out clean on the relationship.
Why should he? Do you have any relationship somewhere? Who paid you? Who paid you? Who planted you? Who planted you here? Who planted you there? Everybody has a relationship somewhere or the other. Who are you? Who are you to question? You have no right to question anyone. And not let the last
Sushant saying
the question is
manipulating.
Now let me come to a critical part. Let me come to a critical part of my program today. Anand is on the debate, and I'd like to bring in Ketan, and I'd like to bring in Rizwan also. See, it is only prudent that if an accused is being given airtime, at least she is asked very specific questions about this case. This is a general expectation. But if there is not even one specific question, then we must ask what those questions are, Ketan. Why didn't Rhea question the suicide theory? Rhea says they spoke on suicide and she used to say, "Tum kabhi aisa to nahi karoge na?" And Sushant said, "No, main nahi karunga." Then why wasn't she asked why she was not the first person to question the Mumbai police and Anil Deshmukh who were peddling the suicide theory, Ketan? Why were people linked with Rhea also seen with Sandeep? Rhea, who says, "I don't know Sandeep," should have been asked how there were multiple people connected to her who were seemingly close to Sandeep. Now ask yourself these logical questions. How was it?
And Arnab,
how was, yes,
I don't
Anand.
know whether you noticed, but at one point in the interview, at one point in the interview, you know, the maligning of Sushant went to such pits, such levels, that he was almost labeled as a mentally ill invalid. The question was asked, were you at any time wanting to dissociate yourself with him? And the answer given by the accused was that, you know, when you are so close, you try and, you know, become like his mother, as if taking care of him. I mean, what the hell was going on? But as I said,
Ketan,
you know, I would never make my opinions on such questions.
We can go into
what
the
I would
sharpness
go by
or the intent of the interviewer.
That
however,
are
she
not
coming
asked.
out clear
And
has
no,
at least stated her position.
Excuse me 1 second. Can I just finish?
Now we can ask
Can I
questions
please finish?
at least. That is one point. Okay, sure,
Yes.
sure. Please go ahead.
If you allow me, look, I did not interrupt you. Yeah, thank you very much. To my opponent, my esteemed panelist, I just have one question to ask. As I was saying, I always go by facts. And the facts was, do you not agree, sir, that for the second time in a month, a doctor-patient confidentiality has been breached? This is criminal. Leave aside all the opinions and all the soft questions.
And there's another,
thing.
continuing
This
with
has been
what I
breached.
feel are the unanswered questions out here. Rizwan, I'll only put out some what I think are unasked questions, and maybe we can take the discussion forward. Unasked questions. If nothing was amiss, why did the trainer indicate criminal administration of psychotropic drugs? Why did Sami Ahmed, the personal fitness trainer of Sushant, who was in the know of what he ate, drank, and his lifestyle, say this? Question not asked tonight. Did Rhea know, recognize, or keep in touch with the man in the black shirt, white cap? Seen at the scene of the death. Did Rhea know, recognize, or keep in touch with the man with a cap, white mask, and black shirt, holding a black bag, while a policeman is right there, potentially tampering the scene of death? Question not asked. Nilotpal, I'm only thinking this through because, you know, on a fundamental issue, I'm not going to give a platform to these kind of people, but I am appalled at what has come of my profession. Why would Sushant call Mahesh Shetty, to whom the call was made, on the intervening night of his death? Why was no question asked to Rhea? Why would Sushant make his last act call to a TV actor Mahesh Shetty on the intervening night? Was it because that could reveal something? Question not asked. Why did Rhea not raise an alarm when there are 3 versions of who brought Sushant's body down? If you have loved someone, if you've lived with the person, I'm not saying lived off, I'm just saying lived, then how, when there are 3 versions of how a person you loved, his body was brought down, and the Mumbai police does nothing on it? Nilotpal, question which comes to my mind is, the same person, Rhea Chakrabarti, comes and says, no, doesn't matter. I think the Mumbai police is doing a fabulous job. Don't you think so? And then the interviewer and Rhea look at each other and nod. Did or didn't Rhea have WhatsApp chats with house help Dipesh talking about bringing drugs, discussing hash? 27th April 2020, 48 days before Sushant died. Rhea says just call for 1 bag only. Was she asked what was that 1 bag? And she said, we currently have hash, right? What was the reference to hash about? This material was with the interviewer. And the interviewer chose not to ask these questions. Instead asked deep questions such as, who is the real Rhea Chakrabarti? You should, do you have regrets that you loved him? No, these are, see, we've been on opposite sides, Rizwan, on multiple issues. But, you know, fundamental questions. If I have evidence, and there is evidence with a designer called Simone Kambata, where this evidence is there that Rhea is having chats with designer Simone Kambata, talking about best weed ever, so easy to get the drugs. Is it not relevant to ask these questions instead of saying, don't worry, Satyamev Jayate, we will all win together. I can see you are about to cry. Do you feel emotional about it? Are you holding back your tears? Was Sushant the womanizer? Did this terrible man ever abuse you? You know, I'm saying you know the investigation and so do I. Yes, Rizwan, sorry.
The morning, sir, when I woke up.
I just need 2 minutes.
Yes, Rizwan.
Arnab, I just need 2 minutes without any interruption. See, first and foremost, media plays the fourth pillar of democracy, and they are doing a fabulous job. Your channel is doing an amazing job so far. You have, your channel has discovered so many evidences which have come on record now, and all the evidences clearly suggest that there's definitely something much more than what meets the eye. It also indicates that Rhea may be guilty to a certain extent. But still, the legal question, the moot question is that whether whether Rhea has a right, a fundamental right, a constitutional right to speak for herself and to defend herself.
Nobody's raising a question mark on that. Nobody's raising a question mark on that. The question is about why doesn't Rhea demand that CCTV footage of Sushant's residence from the 7th to the 14th should be made public? Right. No. The question is, she should be asking Mumbai police that question. Not saying, oh, Mumbai police, great job. Am I right, Nilotpal? Am I right, Nilotpal?
You're absolutely right.
100% right, Arnab. You know why? Because if she's trying to suggest that she's not guilty.
Morning time when I woke up today, 9 o'clock, I saw the clip of Sushant's my dad. What he was begging for the justice. Justice is his right. Justice is right of every Indian, every citizen in India. Now the question is, I not saw the entire interview because it was bullshit. Now the thing is, same journalist can go to Dubai or Pakistan and can take the India #1 most wanted Dawood Ibrahim interview also. That doesn't make any sense. Now the thing is, I saw a very small glimpse when she mentioned that in Europe, he was not coming out of the house for 3 days. Did you inform his family member? Was it very basic thing? Was it not very unusual or uncommon that someone is not coming out from the room for 3 days? What did you do that time? Why you not handed him over to the family? Why you spent
and another question. Days? No, Nilotpal, another question comes to my mind is, and Shweta, I want to comment on this. You began by saying, you begin by saying, the question is, you begin by saying, this depressed, mentally having a problem, bipolar man who is seeing ghosts, he's like, you're portraying him to be a madman. If that is the case, Shweta, how is it that you're constantly taking all the money from that madman? You're diverting the money into accounts, you're getting your unqualified brother to become an equal shareholder in companies. You're registering the companies in a house owned by your father, but all the time you say this man is mad. He's mentally unstable. And not one counter question. No question about the mystery girl link with Rhea. The same car is used around Rhea Chakrabarti and Sandeep. See, one second. Look at the wasted opportunity. Yeah, Shweta.
There is zero capital in that company.
Please understand, Arnab, please understand that this entire interview was scripted. So it is a clear case of justice versus propaganda. But for the first time, Arnab, you are asking the wrong questions too. Because the right question is, let's ask who paid for the interview. They don't come for free. Who made that one phone call? Who selected this particular friendly media for the interview? And these are the right questions to ask right now. Because this is the cartel that we have been talking about. And we know which part of the cartel does the particular ankle belong to. When he stood for Tukre Tukre gang,
Madam,
when he stood for Yasin Malik, when he stood up for...
These are conspiracy theories just meant to defame Rhea.
Let's understand this.
Rhea is a person who has news value.
No, it's not.
And it is the right of any journalist to ask her question.
Why did she choose that particular channel? How much did she pay for it? Because it was completely scripted.
It's unfortunate and extremely bad for you to insinuate that it's a paid interview.
Why did you delete the chat?
Please don't understand. Media doesn't work that way.
Why did he not
ask? It is extremely unfortunate for you to say that it was a paid interview. You are defaming a very senior journalist.
Nobody can alter right now. Why did he not ask that? Why did he not ask the simple,
you can definitely question his style, but you cannot question his personality and his integrity. He's a very senior journalist. It's unfortunate. Don't demean him. Please don't demean a journalist by saying it's a paid interview.
Nandini is on the interview. Nandini is also wanting to say something. Nandini. 2 versus 2. Nandini. Yes, Nandini. Yes, Nandini.
She's a very senior journalist.
Yes, Nandini.
Is she not talking to the public then? Why is she scared?
Is this interview going to reduce her culpability in the case? Let's just ask this question.
She wants a fair chance to speak, right? Ask her to come on Republic.
See, Rhea has a lot to answer. Did you see how shaky she was on the drug question? Did you see how shaky she was on the drug question?
Nandini.
Even if she has consumed drugs,
I would like to also highlight the point that during her interview, she mentioned that when they reached Europe and when they were in Italy, they were in a room where Sushant saw some gothic image and got scared and was petrified. And then she insisted, let's change the hotel room. And he was not willing to go. So you tell me, a guy who has a dream, out of 150 dreams, one of the dreams clearly states, I want to spend a night alone in a graveyard. It's in the public domain. You tell me, how can he be scared of seeing those images? He wasn't scared of any paranormal activities. He used to watch horror films. This is absurd, ridiculous. We were laughing. Don't you think it was funny, hilarious?
Please
that entire interview was doctored.
Mental illness is a very serious issue. Don't stigmatize. And just one humble point. Arnabji, you may be a Sevak. Another person may be a Dravid. We all love Sevak. But there is a different style of questioning too.
No, one second. Don't trivialize it.
Please don't demean anyone.
Rahul, the question is 1 minute. Rahul, you know what? We're talking about a serious investigation. Keep the tone serious. The question is this. Question is this. We must look at the. This is a very important moment in the investigation. I think, Anand, the point we need to all underscore is that we have reached this point through tremendous effort and through major vilification ourselves. We have been vilified. We've come to a point where we're asking questions. Why give the Mumbai police a clean sheet despite videos where there are Mumbai police says we will be ruined if the video leaks? How was Sushant's relationship with his sister fraught when chats indicate plans to visit the sister? Why did Sushant tell the friend who spoke to him on 9th June that he doesn't trust anyone? Why does the version of Rhea and a chartered accountant on withdrawals from Sushant's account not add up? These are the questions. We have reached this point through tremendous effort.
Even Supreme Court
and 1 minute. Anand,
please allow me to speak.
And all I'm saying is, Rahul, all I'm saying is, I hand over to Anand is that we will continue.
Rahul, this is not done.
We will not let go. We are not going to let a botch-up happen. We are not going to let a PR campaign happen. We are going to stay sure on the path of what is right, and we are going to expose the truth of who killed Sushant, PR interview or not, Anand.
Absolutely, Arnab, and this is what they're scared of. But coming back to my good friend Rahul Ishwar, you know, he is a severe test of ahimsa, honestly listening to him. What does he mean by, please do not demean, he's a very senior journalist. Rahul Ishwar, even when you turn 100, let me tell you, senior or not, you will be as illogical and as insensible as you are right now. So please do not bring age into it. Talk about facts. Do you or do you not condemn that doctor-patient confidentiality was broken? It's a simple yes or no question, yaar. Why don't you answer it? Don't beat about the bush.
Please remember there are different.
No, was it or was it not? And more than that, you are.
Look at this, Arnab.
You are giving any theory about the dead. The important thing is, you get vilification of the dead who have nobody to defend themselves. Nobody. And you can today say anything. Nandini, you know Sushant.
It's horrible.
You know, Smita knows Sushant. You have known, both of you have known him closely, worked with him. You know Sushant. The man is not there. And someone who left him before his death and who's being investigated in the murder case is saying he was a drug addict. His sisters were terrible. His father is terrible. He was mentally sick. He was bipolar. He was having a medicine which you ask the psychiatrist he was never having. Or why are you doing all this? So question would be, Smita, why is she so desperate? Nandini, why is she so desperate to spread lies to defend herself? Why is she so desperate to spread lies to defend herself?
Reputation. First, she started with the depression theory, then she came on the bipolar issues. Now she's got something new that he was claustrophobic. I don't know why on earth is she doing it, because she's trying to hide something. She's the culprit. It's quite evident. She's a part of the gang.
No, what part of the gang? What part of the gang? 1 second. Nandini, please speak up. What do you mean part of the gang?
These entire guys, you know, when you see the Siddharth Pathani, all these guys are so fishy. We all be watching television. Neeraj, why are these Dipesh? Why are there conversations between Dipesh and Rhea regarding drugs? And why was this question not asked on the national television?
Not once.
If he was doing an interview, it should have not been partial. It should not have been one-sided. I am challenging her. Please come on Republic and talk to us. We will expose you.
You know, she contradicts herself every time. You know, when she spoke to me last time, she was supposed to expose Karan Johar and Aditya Chopra. And there were no mentions of these two people. And she very conveniently mentioned today about Rohini Iyer and Sanjana Sanghi. Maybe because she's thinking of her future in the film industry.
When did she last speak to you?
She had called me yesterday.
She called you yesterday?
And, she called me yesterday.
Rhea called you yesterday?
She called me yesterday.
Why did she call you?
She wanted me.
In fact, she told the nepotism.
Listen, now what? This is she's revealing something.
She said that Sushant was denied.
She's revealing something. What did she say?
In fact, she supported the murder theory. I don't know. Again, now should it be? She was very diplomatic about the.
She supported the murder theory when she spoke to you.
Yes, absolutely. And she said,
and she went on TV and talked about the suicide theory.
Exactly.
No, 1 minute.
Also,
1 minute. Smita, hold on. Hold on. Shoaib, stop it. Shoaib, she's saying something. Shoaib, you've got to keep quiet.
Do you have audio recording?
Yes.
You have 1 minute. 1 minute, viewers. 1 minute. 1 minute. You be quiet. Why are you stopping it when she's speaking? What's your problem?
This is sensational.
She's revealing something. It's sensational. It's breaking news, so you have to keep quiet.
Okay, go ahead.
Shoaib, please. This is a live testimony. All my panelists are quiet. Anuja is quiet. Shweta is quiet. Why are you talking? Thank you.
Why I'm so upset?
No, 1 minute. Now I'm going to. 1 sec. Just a minute, Smita. Let me. Rhea Chakrabarti called you yesterday, and you have a recording of the conversation. Yes or no?
Yes.
And in the recording, she says to you that she believes the murder theory.
Absolutely.
Can you be a little more detailed? What did she say about the murder? Because then she tells you that yesterday. What time was the phone call?
Actually, I was asleep till late. So when I saw my phone, it was already 11:30 in the morning. By then, I have already 5-6 missed call from an unknown number.
Yeah.
So I called back. My normal routine is I call back and I asked, and she said, it's me and I need to speak to you because you're the only one who's speaking the truth. And because I spoke about Rajiv Masan and Rohini Iyer in one of my interview, and which I knew that yes, Sushant was troubled by these two people, which is a true thing. And if Nilotpal ji is on this panel, I'm sure we should file a case against these two people because they have definitely harassed Sushant during last a year or so. So yeah, so she had shared some screenshots also how Sushant had sent those screenshots of the blind articles and they were really harassing him mentally. But then I told her that why are you still talking about this suicide thing? Because I still met him on few occasions, but you were the life of Sushant for a year. You should have known. How come you are saying it is a suicide? She said, no, now even I believe that it's not a suicide and I want justice for him. But I'm already, very busy with my own fight, to get out of it. So I told her that there are certain allegations on you, which are right. If you can only get out of those, then only you will be able to fight. But you should at least ask for justice, CBI, and all the proper investigation for Sushant, which she said, yes, I will do it and I want this. And I definitely suspect there is a foul play because she was not allowed to see the social media as per her account, from her lawyer's instructions, so she doesn't know all the goof-ups.
No, she told you that she believes he could have been murdered.
Arnab, this is explosive.
Yes.
You have a recording of this.
This is absolutely
At what time was the phone call?
Be given to CBI.
Yes,
Arnab,
I think so.
Give it to CBI. Tell her to give it to CBI. Arnab, you take this.
11:30 about in the morning.
Okay, because this Aaj Tak interview, whatever it is, if you call it an interview, happened after midnight because they waited for all journalists to go away and then, you know, they sort of sneaked in. So what you're saying is that she told you she believes it's murder, and then this same person coolly goes on an interview with a friendly channel and pushes and pushes and pushes the whole depression, bipolar, suicide theory. This has to be a very calculating mind.
This is very upsetting for me.
This is very
upsetting for me.
This is no, it's giving you goosebumps. If somebody has told you in a phone call that she believes it is murder,
she was following a script.
Then then Shweta, she coolly goes on an interview and coolly pushes the suicide theory. This is a very calculating, cold-minded individual.
Script which was given to her,
and also maligning him that he was taking marijuana. I mean, why are you even talking about it if you really love him? In case one person, I'm saying if he did.
No, but I'm interested in the turn. No, I'm interested, Smita, in the twist.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Play the recording.
Yeah, stop challenging her. If she says she's got a recording, she's got a recording.
I will give it to CBI. Don't worry. If needed, I'll give it to
the recording, and you are not a CBI. That she will play a recording for you.
Arnab, this is explosive. Shouldn't you be interested? Shouldn't you be interested?
Yes, I am interested.
Shouldn't you be interested?
Don't play a detective.
This is the most important breaking news.
Yes, I am.
Shouldn't you be interested?
Yes, I am interested.
There is a recording.
Yeah, of course I'm interested. This news itself is huge. This news is huge.
We will be playing the recording and giving it to the CBI where it should be. It should not be with you.
No, even during the interview,
she has a recording where she
did afraid, ma'am. Go ahead.
She also
why are you waiting for CBI? You have branded her.
Rahul, relax. Rahul, relax.
Now why wait for CBI?
Rahul,
now why wait for CBI? You have been branding her a
understand the
murderer.
point which Smita has made.
Why we will wait? Because we
I
are
have to
not
take a break.
like
Very important.
Viewers, I have to take a break at this point. A very interesting testimony has come up in the course of the debate. Smita, you just stay on for a bit. I'm going to debate number 2. This is an explosive edition of the debate. See you in a few minutes.